For this product this year, I worked with my sixth grade science department. So they were looking for a way to engage our sixth grade students in 6.9b, which has to do with renewable and non-renewable resources and how they're managed. So the idea was for them to investigate and understand that humans impact the environment, and individuals can influence public policy decisions related to energy and the environment. So they broke this down into two parts. So we very specifically focused on this part because public policy for them came after this idea. So we're investigating and understanding the human impact of the environment when it comes to renewable and non-renewable resources. And so in addition to that, there's more about the essential knowledge and practices and the understandings. So one of the things that we were looking at is just the long-term effects of renewable and non-renewable resources. And so I produced for them a 3-part project. And by for them, I mean really with them. So with their guidance, we figured out what it is that they wanted the students to be able to do and demonstrate, and we went from there. So in the exploratory phase, we work with Discovery Education. So I created the studio board for them for renewable and non-renewable energy. So it has these 2 reviews right here about what that means, and then just a quick reflection on what those things are. And then they had choice boards. So the first part was about renewable energy. So what I did is I created a chart for them to push out as an LTI in Canvas, meaning the students all filled out their own on their computers, where they would research different types of energy, come up with the pros and cons associated with those types, and any questions that they might have. And then they just let us know which 3 videos they watched. Or actually, it's not all videos. So see here, there's videos and podcasts and simulations. There's all different types of choices for them. They just get to choose 3 for the renewable energies and then reflect in this chart here. They do the same thing for the non-renewable area. So they go down and they researched these 3 things. Now, the type of thing that they watch is not important. It was just that they experienced it. So we were allowing for different types of learners in this area. And then they had this chart to reference for their project. So the teachers wanted them to be able to analyze the types. So not just know what they are, but what the benefits of them are and the drawbacks of them. So you can see in some of the essential knowledges, it talks about comparing energy sources and their effect on our health, investigating practices that reduce those hazards. These are all related to 6.9. And then analyzing things to determine different perspectives of them. So there's a lot of different aspects of renewable, non-renewable in the standards that we were focusing on here. So once they figured that out in a non-biased way, so just pros, cons, all the above for all different types of energy sources. Then what we did is we wanted them to apply it. And so we created this template for them. This is their apocalyptic project. And basically what it's asking them to do is imagine living in a world where they didn't have any power, no energy, and that now they're finding themselves on their own in their town, and they have to decide whether they're going to stay where they are and make that work or go anywhere else in the world. So the idea behind it, and I created a video for them to experience, was just to really think through what they're going to use and why. So this required them to really think about the pros and cons that they came up with and try to apply those to things like geography and infrastructure. So they had to figure out their type of energy and then where they're going to live. So we gave them things to consider, what type of resources they'll need. So this is a template, so they fill it out as they go. They do replace their text here with a picture, or they either have the option to draw or find it. And then just talk about the pros and cons of that type of power, and then they finally get to draw their town. So they have tablets with drawing features, so they can use the draw option here to draw it and its power supply. So by doing so, they're applying all the different things that they found about that particular type of energy, and they're demonstrating their knowledge of how it affects the various aspects of living. So not only did they explore, but they applied as well. And they covered a lot of the 6.9 targets that were in our management of renewable, non-renewable resources target.